5th of March 2017. So, to start off, I changed the warp. So what was happening was I was exercising, and I was thinking about the project, and then I was thinking about the warp, and I was thinking, what is missing from the warp? Why does the warp not look good? Why does it not look like you're actually warping? And I realized that the ship doesn't move or anything, which is exactly what I want, because I kind of want to do a cheap warp where, because you're actually in the actual game, you're going to be like off in space, and you're not going to have a frame of reference. You're just going to see the space. So it's fine that the ship doesn't actually move, because they won't be able to kind of tell that, probably. So I changed the warp. I realized that there was no kind of field of view difference. So what often happens is, I was trying to recreate the effect that the ship goes off before the camera. So you see the kind of power, and you see the kind of speed of the ship, because it's hard to see the speed of the ship when the camera is attached to the ship and everything else is moving around you. You can kind of see it, but you don't really get a feel of you are the person, you are the thing moving. It could be like everything beside you, everything around you is moving, for example. So I had the thing of the ship goes off before the camera, so you can see that it is moving, and obviously the space around you moves before that, so you can even see that, okay, so the space around you, maybe you're charging up and you're getting ready to move, and then the ship moves, and then the camera moves. So it kind of has a sort of parallaxing or a linear kind of velocity to it. It kind of shows the more of the power of the warp. So I realized that there was no field of view difference, which is like often the case when you see these kind of warp things. Now I changed the UVs and the panning of the skysphere, which is exactly what I was trying to create. I was trying to create the field of view difference with that, and I didn't realize that I was trying to create that. I was creating an effect of everything moving really fast, but the field of view also contributes to that sort of warping of the skysphere without actually manipulating the skysphere. So I added that in the warp. So I added that in the timeline, the field of view difference. And I quickly tested the field of view, like what it should be at different times. So the default is 90, then 150 looks quite good, then 170 is the max, and it also looks like maximum stretchiness, maximum field of view difference that you'd expect of the final peak of the charging of the warp before you're vaulted forward. So I animated that in the timeline. So field of view, if I get this up, so as you can see, I did a curve, so it kind of stretches up, and then it reaches the 170 there, and it just flattens out, and that's the 150 there. And I'll show you what it now looks like, which is a lot better, but still not done. So if I press L, so it has that, and then the field of view changes, and it looks like you're warping forward. Then the ship moves, and then you move. And I find that quite cool of the skysphere, how it looks more like it's changing colors, and I don't know if that's kind of like a little funky thing of it, that it looks like it's changing colors or not, because I'm not changing colors. But I have a problem here. I can't actually move afterward, which I'm gonna have to try and figure out. But as you can see, it looks a lot better, and I realized that that the returning back to it, the field of view needs to return a lot quicker, so I'll just change that. But for now, the forward movement looks pretty different and a lot more convincing. So I changed that, and I had that issue where the ship would move, and I don't know what bit it would get stuck at, but it would be, oh yeah, so the ship would move, and then the UVs would stop. It would stop panning, and then the ship would like shoot forward, and then you'd shoot forward. But I wanted it so that the UVs kept panning. So if I play that again, you'll see, I'll explain it, that the UVs are panning right now, and they should keep panning. Even at this bit, they should keep panning, keep panning, keep panning, but it would get stuck there. And I was wondering, why is it getting stuck? And this is it returning back to normal. I was wondering, why is it getting stuck? Then I figured out the reason was because I was using last keyframe, but to be honest, I haven't found that to actually ever work. But also, it had a lot of slack afterward. So UV's warp, there would be a lot of slack where it would be, so it finished at 6 seconds. However, it went on for 10 seconds. So that's 4 seconds of nothingness that was happening. And that means that the panning wasn't doing anything for 4 seconds. So that's 4 seconds of standing still. And that's why it would stop and not move. So if you were to see back in a previous devlog where I demonstrated the warp functionality, you'd see that it stops and then you move forward. But I fixed that now by changing it so that the actual length of the timeline stops at 6, and I've moved every single keyframe to 6, so they all stop at 6. So it's like a uniform length, and I'm guessing that's sort of what happens in one of these. So it should stop at 1, but the length is 3. So if I stop that at 1, the warp movement, and maybe that's what's causing it to stop. So here it goes down to 10. Whereas if I were to change that to 6, maybe. So that's quite a big drop off though. But okay, so here we put that to 6 as well. And then see this 5. So what I'll actually do, whoops, is create a new keyframe with the same value, different time. And here, the FOV difference, well actually I'm just going to move these to create a better FOV, more of a different FOV, so probably around, it needs to be 150, so right there. It goes from 170, but what I could have is 165 and 170 with that at 70, 170. So so now if we were to try it, so that they're all kind of the same length, so applying the same fix to the different timelines, it might create something a lot better. So let me go forward, and the field of view should change a lot quicker. And there we go. Can I drive off? I cannot drive off. Alright, so that's a problem. But that's to be fixed another time. So you've just seen how I fixed, well, how I've changed one of the things. And I know exactly why. It's because you don't re-enable functionality afterward, because I forgot to hook that up. And now, okay, you're seeing me fix some more stuff. It's because I added that FOV change, and now it's going weird. But you saw me add the FOV change. It was so fast it broke mid-flight, and I can fly off. But yeah, so that's how I fixed it. So I added that FOV change, and I forgot to hook that up, which is the reason why I couldn't fly off. But because I was slightly looking up, and the rotation didn't properly go back, it broke the destructible mesh in mid-flight. But you saw that I can how I fixed the flying off. Alright, so how does what I did today? Okay, meet my short-term and long-term aims of progressing my skills. Helps if I do this. I didn't change this. Progressing my skills and visual storytelling, as well as technical art. So, visual storytelling today creates a much better sense of speed and warp, because otherwise it looks a bit like, if I didn't add the FOV change, then it kind of looks like the sky is just kind of going a bit wacky, and it's difficult to really tell that you're the one moving. But I feel like now it's much more convincing that you're the one moving. There still needs to be some tweaks, but we're getting there. We're progressing. And I think in the future I'll probably remember stuff like that, that the field of view can be manipulated in order to give a better sense of speed. And the reason, actually, whilst I was exercising, what I was thinking about drawing, because I've been practicing drawing recently, and specifically perspective drawing, and I realised that I was thinking about a wide angle. Like if you were to use a wide angle lens, so wide angle that it becomes a fisheye lens, then the perspective is distorted enough that it looks like the midpoint of the view is kind of pushed far back into the distance, while the sides are pushed a bit forward if you have it one way, and then if you reverse the way, then it's the reverse of that. The midpoint looks really close and the farthest points look really far away. So that's how I figured out, that's how I thought the warp, if I created that kind of fisheye look with the FOV change, then it would create more of a it's being pushed away sort of look to the warp. So yeah, visual storytelling. So, and that's how I fixed those problems you saw as I fixed them and I explained them. If I had to do the same thing again, what would I do differently? I'd probably spend more time on it. I didn't actually spend a lot of time on the project today. Also, I'd check after I make a change to the code. I'd probably check it all again, because I made a simple error where I just forgot to hook it up, and that looks really weird. There we go. I made a simple error where I just forgot to hook it up. So I'd say if I had to do the same thing again, I would check through it all again after I made the difference and make sure it all makes sense. Project back up. Yes. Right. See ya.